All right, we're live.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him. My head start. I just my better body than Mickey James. You're winning the bike ring, putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down. Play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another edition of Boot to the Face here on YouTube and all your favorite podcast players. I'm Chris Rucker along with my co-host EJ Reed, and we are here to catch you up on everything in the world of pro wrestling. EJ, how you doing?
Well, always fine, man. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. We mean always fine. Who says that? Life is just that good, huh?
Yeah, man. It's better than being 6 feet under.
Yeah, I guess that's right. You have a good week since last time we chatted?
When was the last time we did? We did one last Tuesday, didn't we?
Yeah.
No. Same old work and kick back and watch UFC pay-per-view. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. The weather's been weird. It was like a mini blizzard last Wednesday, and yesterday it was like 70-something degrees. So there you have it.
Yeah, it didn't snow here, but the weather has been weird here too. It got up in the 70s today. I meant to watch the fucking UFC pay-per-view this weekend, and I didn't. I think I don't know. I had a pretty good weekend. My son's 17th birthday is today. He had his party on Saturday, so I went to that. Friday night, me and my girlfriend decided to go to this Mexican restaurant that's a couple miles down the road. Just to get a margarita and some chips and dip. Then we decided to come home and make margaritas, which I was making. And nice. I'd be fired as a bartender because my poor hand's a little heavy. And we were playing like Scrabble and shit like that. Woke up, went to Orange Theory. She went to North Carolina and took her family all the little shit she got for Japan for him. And I went to my kid's 17th birthday party. And then Sunday we just she came back home. We just kind of chilled and watched AEW Revolution. And the weekend was over. This weekend's going to suck.
Where was the party at?
Dave and Buster's.
Nice.
Yeah.
17. One more. Next year, officially being an adult.
Out!
What's up?
Get out! Also, today marks 1 year of officially being divorced.
Oh, okay. I know some people celebrate that. I don't know. It seems kind of interesting to celebrate.
I mean, if it was a weekend, I'd definitely be celebrating it. But I got to go to work tomorrow. And this week is so St. Patrick's Day is next week. I work in the alcohol industry, so this week is very busy and stressful. And then on top of that, I'll be working in an Irish bar Saturday and Monday. Take a vacation day Monday to go work because, they pay me pretty good every year to go in there and look tough and keep people under wraps. So it's gonna be a long couple weeks, and I got a bachelor party the weekend after that.
They usually give you drinks though when you work that event, right?
I wouldn't say they give me drinks, but I do drink. But I mean, you can't just be drunk. Like, I am working.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Where's the bachelor party at?
Chattanooga,
Tennessee?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never been to Chattanooga. I mean, I haven't even been to Memphis yet. Only place I've been to Tennessee is Nashville. Or I stopped by Knoxville really quickly as well. But What's going on in Chattanooga? I didn't know that was like a destination city.
It's not. I mean, so my buddy, I'm in his wedding. He picked his son as his best man, and I was just joking in the chat like, "So when's the bachelor party?" And he texted me. He's like, "I didn't even think about it." In some kind of way, I got roped into being the guy planning it. But all his people in his wedding party are like, "No, I can't go." One guy's a pastor, so he don't want to go, and I'm just like, "Y'all are fucking lame." Like, so we end up inviting some people we used to work with, and drink with, and go to Chattanooga. And the plan is to get an Airbnb. Chattanooga's real good for like walking to bars. Like, it's a small town. They got some really nice bars. They got this taco place that I fucking love called Agave and Rye. I've been there 3 times now. So.
Oh yeah, you've been
Yeah.
there. What were the other times you went? Your friend lives there. That's why you went the other time.
Went for New Year's Eve. Just went leaving Nashville. We stopped in, and I went one other time for something. But it's only like 2 hours away from me. Less than 2 hours actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, is that close?
yeah. It's like it's less than halfway to Nashville from me.
Well, like you said, a nice little getaway. You said it's a small little bar area town where you
Yeah.
can walk from bar to bar.
I'm
That's all
at
you really need, right?
I'm at exit 259 on 75, and Nashville I think is exit 353. So it's like less than 100 miles.
Okay, that's what's up. Chattanooga that's not the place where the racetrack is it?
No. It's just
I know.
They got an
I mean, I'm thinking
aquarium.
Bristol, maybe.
they got an aquarium. The Tennessee Aquarium's there. It's like mainly downtown, and it honestly it reminds me of Winston-Salem. Like, it's that kind of town where it's kind of small and you can walk to everywhere. Like, you get in one hotel, you park, and then you just walk everywhere else. It's that kind of town. It's that small, but it's nice. They got a big speakeasy at the top of a hotel called the Whiskey Thief, which I've been to a few times, overlooking like the river and shit like that. Yeah, Chattanooga's not bad.
Sounds like a good time to me.
And they got strip clubs, so those are always important for
does-
bachelor parties.
I was going to say, yeah, context. Yeah, because that's the point is the bachelor party. I'm going to say, doesn't the city you live in is like known for strip clubs?
Yeah, but these Atlanta strip clubs, I don't know. I'm not a fan. If you're not like a rapper or a fucking producer or a basketball player, like, they ain't trying to hear shit you got to say. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I like having fun at strip clubs, but I don't want to go broke trying to have fun at a strip club.
Yeah. I'm sure there's like, of course you try to go to like Body Tap or Magic City, but I'm sure, ain't there like some strip clubs on like the kind of outskirts where,
Yeah, but it's still
not as
Atlanta.
splashing? True.
They had a couple,
Right.
like, they literally had one about 5 minutes from my house called Mardi Gras. And that's where we used to go when we were younger, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm technically in Atlanta right now, but I'm not like in downtown Atlanta. So this one used to have like white girls and Asian girls, and then there was one called Follies that had like whatever flavor you liked. That's what they had. But they've all closed down. Boomers was 18 and up. Cypress Lounge was 18 and up. They've closed all of those down that are like outside of Atlanta, and the only thing really left is like Magic City and Cheetah and shit like that.
Well, luckily I'm not really a strip club guy, so
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about wasting money there. I'd rather just watch porn for the most part.
I'm not really a big strip club guy either, but every now and then you go and it's fun. Like for our guys trip, we all ended up there when we took the limo out in Vegas, and it was like, it's one of those things where it's like, I've never been to a strip club in Vegas. I always hear about it, so fuck yeah, why not?
But I used to go to strip clubs a lot in my late teens, early 20s, and I used to always just leave the night just pissed off when I'm leaving. Just wasted all my money and blue balls.
You know what's funny is, like, in my previous life, I was like forbidden from the strip club, so I always just wanted to go. And now my girlfriend's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, go to the strip club. Now, like, never go. It's like you're allowed to do it without being judged, and it's like, well, I don't even think I want to now.
There you go. That's how you know you've matured. You don't even want to go to the strip club now.
But I do have fun when I go. But anyway, we'll get to let's get to wrestling. We don't need to talk about strip club fun, because I tell you what, I got stories.
Yeah, stories.
We'll talk about off
strip
air.
Club.
Yeah,
oh.
Fun story.
You don't say.
Got some fun stories. Ever tell you about the time I got kicked out? Not kicked out, but the stripper in Vegas called me a broke ass bitch because of a misunderstanding.
That was just last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that story.
She said, "You broke ass bitch." I said, "Girl, I'll buy your whole life."
And there you have it.
What kind of shit is that to say to somebody? Who does that? Speaking of Vegas, EJ, WrestleMania is fucking right around the corner. Hotels booked. Flights are booked. WrestleCon is booked. I'm going to WWE The World on Saturday. And then after that, I think I'm going to hit up the Fully Posable meetup. And I need to check in on Wale Mania because I do want to hit that up for one day. Other than that, man, I'll just be in Vegas. You got any plans set in stone of shit you're going to be doing while you're there?
I kind of want to go to Hall of Fame now that ROH isn't running. I guess because they're saying they're going to Vegas too close of a time, so ROH and they usually always run WrestleMania weekend, but they're not gonna be there. So go to the Hall of Fame. I was like almost just as big as like a Lex Luger fan as a Sting fan. Like, we had a little clique, the Wolfpack clique in elementary school. I was Lex Luger in it, so I want to see him get inducted.
That's funny.
I used to be a big Triple H fan, but I don't care about watching his induction like that. More so Lex Luger. I know.
Yeah, Luger would be a good one. Sting will probably be there. DDP will probably be there. I was a Sting guy, obviously. My younger brother Michael liked DDP, and my stepbrother Ira, he was a big Lex Luger fan. So those are the three that we watched when we were there. And I'm telling you, like, one of the most underrated moments in wrestling history was Luger winning the world title from Hogan on Monday Nitro. Like, if you go back and watch that crowd was fucking lit. And I think it was a thing from Hogan. I don't like this fucking guy. I think he just wanted to not have Sting be as over as he could have been. So he's like, yeah, I'll drop the title to Luger and then 5 days later win it back. So now somebody's already beat him, you know?
I don't understand why the reign was so short. It was like a week. And then I think he dropped it right back at Road Wild.
Yeah, it wasn't even a week. It's fucking 6 days. 5 days. Because that Hog Wild was on a Saturday. So he won it on Monday night, lost it on Saturday.
That sounds like a politicking move. Like, they couldn't deny how over Luger was, so they gave him the belt just so they could say they did.
Yeah.
Like, all right, give me back the whole
He
thing.
was over, though. Like, when Sting wasn't wrestling, like, Luger was that fucking guy. Before DDP got to where he was and Goldberg, like, Luger was the guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's after because when he had his first run in the company, he was more so a heel with like the Horsemen and whatnot. I'm sure he had some babyface stints here and there. I remember you said that.
Yeah, him and Sting were like best buddies.
That was what was the storyline? That was after he came back, where you said Sting was like Luger was a heel and Sting was a face, and that was right.
Yeah, that was
NWO, right?
That was during the Nitro era, but before that, like, one of my favorite tag team matches of all time is from Super Brawl 2, the Steiner Brothers versus Sting and Luger. And that was like, that was either Super Brawl 1 or 2. And then the very next one, Flair had left and took the belt, and Luger ended up as the WCW World Champion instead of NWA World Champion. And him and Sting fought for the belt. And Sting beat him, and then he went to WWE. But yeah, Luger, I think that run he had from the time he debuted on Nitro until like the end of WCW was probably his best in-ring run. Like, it was way better than anything he did in WWE, and it was better than what he did beforehand. But he was a fucking specimen. Like, his first run in WCW, this motherfucker was huge. His second run, he was like a more lean cut version. But his first run, like, you talk about nigga can't even eat a sandwich, his fucking biceps are so big.
Yeah, and I think he got most of his physique in the 80s when certain stuff wasn't banned yet.
Yeah.
And I remember when he first got to WWF, he was supposed to be in the Body League, and that shit folded, but he was like the face of it with the Ico Pro and shit.
Yep.
He was ripped up, man.
The narcissist.
Even when he had his... Go ahead.
The narcissist Lex Luger. What a good gimmick that was. Motherfucker brought a mirror out to the ring with him just flexing in it. I'm so fucking buff. I don't care who I'm fighting. Look, let me look at these fucking biceps.
You gotta pop out and show him. But yeah, and he had the plate in his arm. We've seen that reoccur in wrestling. I think Logan Paul's doing that gimmick now, isn't he? With the plates in this. Yeah, man. And even with his like second stint, like after he left the NWO, where it was him and Flair was hyping him up, 4% body fat. Like, he was still pretty shredded.
Yeah,
that's when Elizabeth was with him.
Him and Scott Steiner, that was an underrated team too. No, I'm sorry, him and Buff Bagwell, not Scott Steiner. Totally Buff. That was the name of their tag team. Buff Bagwell and Lex Luger. Totally
I don't
Buff.
remember that. I must have like tuned up. I must have checked out mentally.
That was towards the end of WCW.
Yeah, I think I checked out mentally. I was still watch. I watched to the end, but he had some absurd shit towards the end. Totally buffed. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Then he used to come out in the fucking breakaway pants and tank top with Miss Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
She'd rip his fucking clothes off for him while he was flexing.
That was basically brought back kind of like a version of the narcissist when he was doing that.
Yeah. Luger was that guy, man.
Yeah, so, hey, shout out to Luger for finally getting in the Hall of Fame. Long overdue.
Right. What you want to get to next? We got a lot on the docket. You know, Street Clothes Wrestler. We got Power Rankings. We got AEW Revolution. We got Roman Reigns made his return. Naomi did it. Cody's cut a couple promos on John Cena. A fucking great cage match last night. Like, we got a lot to get to, EJ. I'll let you drive the bus.
I mean, we might as well go with the most recent happening, how Raw ended with your tribal chief coming back and wreaking havoc, so to speak.
I'll give them this. I'm watching Monday Night Raw, and they do the little recap of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and they go out of their way to show Seth attacking Roman, and like, he's taking out Roman Reigns. Like, they went out of their way to remind you about that, and I'm like, all right, he's coming back. But I'll tell you this. In that match with Seth and CM Punk, I completely forgot about Roman Reigns coming back. Like, that match was so fucking good. I was just like, at the beginning of it, I'm like, all right, when this match is over, Roman's going to come back, beat the fuck out of both of them. And then about 10 minutes into it, after both of them kicked out of finishers and they talking shit to each other, I was like, they fucking got me. Like, and I'm not a real big fan of either. Like, I really don't like Punk. And I'm not the biggest Seth Rollins fan, but them boys was working last night.
I thought the match was cool. I thought they leaned a little bit too much on spamming finishing moves. But I mean, you got to give it up to Punk for not getting hurt too. So I was impressed by that.
When he climbed up to the top of that cage and was about to jump, even as a motherfucker that don't like Punk, I was like, dog, no, don't do that. Don't. WrestleMania's 5 weeks away. Get your ass off the top of that cage.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do something crazy, like try to, replicate Snooker or something like that. But thank goodness he didn't. I think he knows his limits now. Finally,
yeah,
he was pushing 50. But
great camera work.
Everybody,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say great camera work at the end with the return of Roman Reigns. Like you could hear the crowd fucking going crazy about something, and they never took the camera off Seth. And the next thing you know, you just see a big ass arm grab this nigga by the throat and pull him out the fucking cage. And I was just like, what happened? And then you look up and it's Roman. I was like, oh shit, I forgot Roman was coming back tonight. I mean, it wasn't advertised, but like, you knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wasn't gonna not show up to MSG. And I don't think, is he scheduled for any of the overseas stuff?
I'm sure he'll be there.
I hadn't heard anything. I know Cena has been advertised, but I hadn't heard Roman. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't go. He like chilling in Florida. But yeah, shout out to Roman for coming back. But I don't know if I'm gonna like the fallout, but I guess we gotta wait and see. I don't wanna, jump out and, predict something before it happens. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a fan of the triple threat match either. I feel the same way about Roman and Seth the way I do about Bianca and Rhea. If you're gonna have them at WrestleMania, I don't want them to be in a triple threat match. I want them to be 1-on-1.
It's just so, I don't want to say lazy, but it's kind of like a cop out. I feel like the big match feel has a bigger feel when it's 1-on-1, mano y mano, and just throwing an extra man in kind of makes it a little bit messy. Unless it's for a title, like I don't mind if it's for a title, but I think they will. I hope they keep the favor in the back pocket. I don't want to hear Punk, my favor is you put me in this triple threat match. You could just ask that without cashing in your favor. Why would you have to use a favor to ask to be in this triple threat match at Mania? So I hope they don't do that. That would really make me mad.
Yeah, I don't know, adding Punk to it just doesn't do it for me, but we'll see what happens. Roman came back last night and it's a good storyline though. Like, he didn't even come for Punk. He came for Seth. And he looks in the ring and Paul Heyman's like consoling CM Punk. And he had this look on his face like, are you fucking serious? Like, this motherfucker, really? And then went in and whooped CM Punk's ass. And you could hear Roman saying, I hadn't forgot, because Punk did eliminate Roman from the Royal Rumble. So they do still kind of have that beef.
What was that about? Paul Heyman in there consoling Punk. I don't get that at all. I know he used to manage him and whatnot, but the context, that was just weird.
The storyline is they're friends. That was why Punk came and helped them at War Games.
Yeah, but he's special counsel for Roman, and Roman was in there.
He can't have friends? You one of them type, EJ? You dating a girl, she can't have friends?
But you riding over here with me, and that's why he saw Roman give him the face that he did.
Roman whooped his ass too.
I'm sure they're gonna tie everything together, but I guess at this moment it was like we're gonna get a triple threat. I mean, they could have ran Seth and Punk cage match at Mania if they wanted to. The last time we seen a cage match at Mania.
I don't know, but I'm glad Seth finally got a win because he's 0-3 versus Cody and 0-1 versus Punk.
But now he's 1-1, right?
Yeah. He would have went down 0-2 versus Punk. That would have been ugly. Technically, he was 0-2 because Punk pinned him at Elimination Chamber.
He did?
Yeah. See, Punk hit the go to sleep, Cena hit the AA, and Punk jumped on top of him.
Yeah, so he definitely needed a win. But it's going to be interesting to see who wins it. Okay.
It was weak the way he got it, though. He got it because Roman pulled his ass out of the ring.
Hey, man, a win's a win.
Yeah. Speaking of triple threat matches, EJ, it's looking like the WWE Women's World Championship is going to be a triple threat as Bianca, Io, and Rhea Ripley had a disagreement. And I'm not going to lie, Rhea Ripley kind of came off as like a spoiled little brat.
Rhea did?
Yeah. She was.
That's why she got slapped by. Both of them got slapped, but yeah, I guess she did it. I mean, she was a little bit whiny, but
and
that was her own doing. She shouldn't have got distracted. So I don't really want to hear her complaining.
And you know what sucks is that after the match, and I talked about this last week, after Raw went off the air when she lost the title, she cut this really good promo on social media about like not keeping her eye on the ball and not being focused and when she ever gonna learn and blah blah blah. And then she comes out on TV this week still complaining like, why were you cheering for her? And it's like, who the fuck cares? Like, you were in a match. You blaming me because you lost because you wasn't paying attention to Io? And then she mushed Io in the face. Then Bianca mushed Io. Io was like, oh, y'all think I'm a punk? Let me show both of you. Suck the dog shit out of Bianca.
Hey, she made her think twice about popping off. But Io is terrific in ring. But them inserting her in the story just seems kind of off. I know you had an idea of leaving Rhea out, but we know Rhea wasn't getting left out of Mania. But what else could they have done with Io if she wasn't in this triple threat match?
I don't know. She could have been in. Same thing they could do with Rhea for not being in it right now. Like, you're not in the world title picture. Go find something else to do.
I don't know. I really don't know how many women's matches are going to be on the pay-per-view in general or PLE in general.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have Liv and Raquel on there.
Yeah.
You almost have to have the Women's United States and Women's Intercontinental title on there. So those will probably be multi-women matches.
I think you might get one of them.
Nah, you gotta have both.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, because we know how they do the SmackDown. They have a lot of the mid-card titles defend on the SmackDown before Mania. So I can see one of them being left off.
I feel like the women's secondary titles were mainly a reason to get the women on WrestleMania and bigger shows.
Shit, so sometimes we don't even see the men's mid-card titles on Mania.
Yeah, but you still got plenty fucking men's matches. Now you got a women's world title match, a WWE women's championship match, a women's tag team match, a women's intercontinental title match, and a women's U.S. title match. That's 5 women's matches over 2 days you have to have now.
Mm-hmm.
On the weekend, it's probably...
What?
I was going to say on the weekend, it's probably going to have 14 to 16 matches total. It'll probably be 7 matches each night.
I could see both of the champions being involved in Mania in some matches, but I don't know if it's a guarantee both of the titles going to get defended. They might be in the same match, actually.
Nah.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's a guarantee that they're going to be on the card. Braun Breaker's going to be involved, so LA Knight, he just won the title back. I don't know if he's going to be on it for sure. Out of those 4 mid-card titles, not all of them going to be on there. I don't think so, but Who knows? Last year they had IC and US both on there, but I guess it's more so the Vince era. Sometimes you saw those titles get left out. I'd have to go back and look at Triple H's track history as far as the mid-card titles. But we'll see.
Damn, WWE had 3 shows last week, and all 3 shows had title changes on
them. All 3 shows.
Monday Night Raw, you had Io win. Tuesday, you had Shawn Spears win. And Friday, you had LA Knight win.
Forgot Shawn Spears was in the company. Yeah, he did hit the North American title. So, hey, shout out to Shawn Spears. He
didn't make my power rankings, but shout out to Shawn Spears.
Mine either.
This is my honorary mention. Man, his music in fucking AEW was so good.
Shawn Spears?
Yeah, his music was so dope in AEW.
I can't even remember what it was, but
I'm gonna have to find it.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it was so fucking good.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head what it was. I remember him being with the Pinnacle. Like,
he had a dope entrance where he'd be sitting in the chair because he was like the chairman of AEW, hitting niggas in the head with a chair. Cody, mainly. Had his little hood on, the spotlight was on him, his fucking music was hit. He had some dope music. I remember he blocked me at one point. I can't remember why. And I was like, I went to tag him in something because I was Shawn Spears' fan. And apparently I said something he didn't like. And motherfucker blocked me. I'm like, wait a goddamn minute. I'm like the only person in the world that likes your punk ass.
You might have said something about his wife.
No, I try not to do that. I only talk about single women.
Maybe it was an accident. Or maybe Marty said something.
Except for Gigi Dolan. I don't really care about her boyfriend. Say what I want about her. He can't fight. You know who can fight? Montez Ford. We were just talking about this last week. About Bianca, because I picked her for Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week and just randomly said, I bet Montez can fight. And fucking the Public Enemies podcast said, can Montez fight? And he said, yeah, bitch, or something like that. He said,
try me.
My God.
He's like, try me or something like that. I saw that. Hey, try him if you want. I mean, prior military, I'm sure he's got combat experience.
And when you with a woman like Bianca, you better know how to fight because you might have to.
Exactly. So.
I feel like she's like one of the most underrated, like when it comes to aesthetics. People don't talk about her enough. I think she's like, it's a specimen.
I think she's rated. She's definitely not overrated, but I feel like people give her props.
I don't really hear a lot of people talking about how good Bianca looks. She really does. Everybody always talks about Jade. And it's like, I don't know. When they're standing next to each other, my eyes go towards Bianca more than they do Jade.
Why not both?
Both of them.
Exactly.
Shannon Sharp say, capital B, OAF, both.
Yeah. I totally agree with that sentiment.
You want to get to AEW Revolution?
Yeah, let's get to it, man.
I thought this was we talked about it going in last week. I thought the build wasn't the best, and I think that's just because I've been traveling so much lately, and AEW's just kind of fallen by the wayside. So I didn't think the build was that good, but when you looked at the card, I was like, wait a minute, this is pretty dope. Top to bottom, I thought this show was phenomenal. But I want to say, if we didn't talk about it last week on the show, I know I tweeted it out from our show account. I thought Tony and Mariah should have been the main event. I thought their story is way better than the Death Rider story. Like, does anybody really care about the Death Riders and Cope?
Nah, not really. I mean, Yeah, looking at it, building a car, it's a world title. They had the story going on for a year, over a year now. That's when Mariah first popped out. So, and then it's the Hollywood ending, so it should have probably ended the show and whatnot. But
Could you
I know
imagine
probably
Could you imagine that match in the main event? Tony pins Mariah. She crawls up and lays her head on her chest. And when they zoom out, they have the ending credits on the screen like they did. And that's how Revolution ended. Come on, man.
that would have been
It's right there.
it would have been dope. But under, I don't understand, but I could put my mind to why they didn't, because they just main evented at Grand Slam, so that's probably why they didn't main event there. But you know, you just gotta go with the hot hand, and that has been the hot story. But I thought the build up overall was good. Going back to what you said, like you said, you was traveling, and probably wasn't investing as you usually are when you're not traveling. But even the Copen Death Rider story picked up heat going into it. I mean, the match probably didn't deliver like the rest of the card, talking about the actual match, but the build-up finally, caught some heat when he was taking out every member of the Death Rider. So I like, that was probably the most interested I've been into the story since they started it. He was taking out them one by one with the concerto, and then Yuta was the last one standing. He kind of just left marks. But yeah, still, Tony and Mariah should have main eventer.
There were every match on this card besides the Hurt Syndicate and the fucking Outrunners was better than this match. Actually, I take that back. Every match on this card was better than this. I get this was the World Championship, but Edge is just not like... I've never been an Edge fan, but he's just nowhere near as good as he was 15 years ago, which is understandable. He should not be in the main event.
Fuck, it's 50. I mean, they like to treat the veterans with a certain respect, so they got it out their system. He doesn't need to be fighting for a world title at all, actually. Keep him as like a semi-special attraction. They got the story right there with Christian. I'm sure they're going to reunite, but I'd rather see them reunite as heels. It just never really... I know he's in this nostalgic part of his career, but he's always been a better heel to me. So.
And if they go back to, for those of the benefit with flash photography, we have this special 5-second pose. I'd love that.
I was thinking about that, but like the music, you can't do it without the music. You have to have their music. Like it doesn't go. It's like peanut butter and chocolate, or peanut butter and jelly. Like you have to have the music, and they have the right to do it.
You could do it.
That'd be terrific.
They could still do it without that music.
Maybe they usually do a good job of doing themes with AEW. Maybe they could find something that could fit to it. But yeah, I'd be a fan of that. 5 seconds of flash photography.
Because who the fuck is using the flash photography now? So it'd be like, it'd be stupid, right? It'd be like them being dumbass old people.
Yeah. It could be purposely, cheesy about it. That'd be hilarious.
Before we get to Tony and Mariah, I thought my favorite match of the night besides that was Ricochet versus Swerve.
Yeah, what a terrific match. And a lot of the times you'll see some people that go from WWE to AEW and kind of just fall by the wayside. Your Miros, your Andrades, but then you got some people who flip it around. I think we said this before. Tony Storm and Ricochet with his heel run. I don't know why WWE didn't let him try at least some heel stuff. He was doing the same thing on the main roster since 2019 or so, and what he's been doing now, it's been really good with this like Dexter type of creepy guy with the glasses and carrying scissors around, and that was a good feud to start off as like real first feud in AEW. And like you said, it was a fantastic match, something on the line with the #1 contendership. You had the Prince Nana factor into it, trying to get that coat back or his bro back. So, yeah, like you said, that was definitely top probably 3 matches on the card, and like you said, all the matches on the card were good outside of like the main event.
Man, there was one point in that match where Swerve hit this fucking combination and then drop kicked Ricochet. And that was probably the best looking drop kick I've ever seen in a wrestling match before. I know I'm being a bit hyperbolic, and somebody will be like, oh, well, you know, back in the day, Randy Orton drop kicked somebody, or who else used to have a good drop kick? Sting used to have a good drop kick. Swerve drop kicked the dog shit out of Ricochet. Like, he got so much fucking height on that. And that was at the very beginning of the match. I remember being like, this match is about to go hard as a motherfucker. And they did. And it was one of those things where I thought Swerve would win, but watching the match, I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, especially when Nana left. And then when he came back, they did something really little that I loved. Nana was like in the corner, acting like he was hurt, and Swerve was backing up, about to go hit Ricochet with the house call. And if you would have paused it right there and said, I bet you $100 Nana's gonna grab Swerve's leg and turn on him, I would have took that fucking bet and thought that Nana was gonna turn, and he didn't. It was something so small to make you think that's what was gonna happen, and then it didn't happen. And then he just kicked Ricochet in the face and beat him.
Yeah, like you said, the little stuff sometimes puts the match over the top. So shout out to them for putting their working boots on. And we know what's gonna happen with Swerve in the immediate future. Hey, I'm trying to think who's Ricochet going to feud with next.
Maybe Omega?
That would be good. For some reason, I don't know if Omega's quite finished with Takeshita the way he won that match, but I'd be for it. Or maybe Hangman has a pivot to another deal.
I would be mad at Omega and Ricochet all in.
Omega and Ricochet All In for the international, but I'm hearing whispers it might be a unification at All In.
I don't know anything about all that. I'm just off the top of my head, I wouldn't be mad at Ricochet and Omega. I don't even know. I don't know if they've ever wrestled before.
It probably had to be way back in the day before, maybe when he was Prince Puma or something.
Yeah.
I can't think of them wrestling off the top of my head. Yeah, I'd be for it.
You brought him up. Hangman Page gets the win over MJF. And I think it's time to admit MJF is way better in the ring than he is on the mic.
I don't know about all of that, but I feel like he's definitely underrated in the ring. I mean,
and overrated on the mic.
He's kind of been playing the hits. He could kind of reinvent himself or not go do the same thing over and over again. But I feel like he turned the corner in the ring as far as the perception when he had the championship, when he was doing Iron Man matches with Danielson. But I feel like, people still usually point to him on the mic. But like you said, it's getting kind of redundant. I'd like to see him switch it up, but I don't think he's overrated on the mic because he knows how to put words. He has a gift of gab, so to speak. But sometimes you just need new material.
Tony Storm and Mariah May, match of the night. You might be a little young, EJ, but there was a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme called Kickboxer back in the day. And he fought in the Kumite, or the Kumite, whatever you want to call it. And there was this Asian dude. He was big as fuck. He was always a bad guy in like the karate movies. I can't think of his name. I'm going to look him up while I'm talking. But at one point in the Kumite, they got to a fight towards the end, and they both put tape on their hands, and they put broken glass on their fists, and they fought like that for the rest of the fight. And when Tony Storm and Mariah May did that, I lost my shit.
Nice. Yeah, I know Kickboxer is a cult classic. Every time it's on TV, I never watch it from start to end. I always catch bits and pieces of it when it's on. It was on. It used to be on network TV. I know most people watch everything on demand now, but hey, shout out to that little moment. That match was just violent, and I loved it. Like, when do you see women gush blood like that? It wasn't for the faint of heart. And some
No.
people got that old mindset where they're women, they shouldn't be. Why not? They're wrestlers too. Like, why do they have to have different standards than men? So, like I said, I enjoyed every second of it.
Oh, I'm a dumbass because this guy that played the bad guy, and this is not the guy I was talking about. But this is still the same. It is the same movie where they put their fucking tape on, and that's so. I want to watch this now. I'm sitting there looking at the cast of it, and the previews are playing. I really want to watch it now. Jean-Claude was my guy back in the day.
Rob Van Dam stole his whole gimmick.
He would have whooped Steven Seagal's ass.
They never did any movies together.
No, not that I know of, but I remember those were the two like martial arts guys back in the day. And Steven Seagal was just like a fat old dude with a ponytail that couldn't run correctly, and Jean-Claude Van Damme was like all fucking muscle doing the splits and that fucking spin kick with the splits he would always do. He was the guy. Steven Seagal was trash.
Steven Seagal always seemed like a phony, even in his heyday. He had like this little weird stint when I don't know if it was a rebrand necessarily, but he was going around all the UFC fighters in the early 2010s, and he was training them. He wasn't really teaching them shit. He was like, I taught Anderson Silva how to do the front kick when he did it on Vitor Belfort. He said, I taught him that. Like, come on, man. We all know that's cap. You ain't teaching that shit, man.
Yeah, Steven Seagal was trash. People used to love Steve. I used to like that movie Hard to Kill. That was one of my favorite ones. But other than that, like Van Damme blew Steven Seagal out of the fucking water.
Shit. TNA name all their pay-per-views after Seagal movies for some reason.
Hard to Kill.
Under Siege.
Under Siege was one too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe they were big Steven Seagal fans. Dixie Carter.
Scott D'Amore probably has like a hard on for Steven Seagal movie back when he was with the company.
Yeah. But yeah, Tony I was not
a Seagal fan either.
I was not mad at all about all the blood with Tony and Mariah. I mean, it was literally a blood feud. It is a little different watching the women bleed like that, but I wasn't like, oh my God, they're women. What are they doing? I was like, these bitches trying to kill each other. Like, they got glass in the ring, suplexing each other on top of it. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't give a damn, women, men, whoever. Like, you are not don't put glass on my body.
Yeah, even when you step on a small piece of glass, how excruciating that is.
Man.
Millions of shards of glass like that. Ugh, no, thank you.
They were suplexing each other on that shit. Body slamming, falling on glass. Real glass. I know CM Punk was hot when he saw that shit.
He probably had to turn the TV off, but yeah.
Jack Perry should have posted on fucking Twitter that Shannon Sharp meme where he's like,
oh man. But you know, it was warranted for the feud they've had, like I said, over the past year. And like, where do you even go with either one of them after that? Because it's nowhere but down almost from that. Like Mariah May, she's always been tied to the hip with Toni Storm. I would like to see her get another feud. It probably won't get to the level of the feud she had with Toni Storm, but I wanted her in another feud to have some meat on the bones, because the little gap in between these matches with her and Toni, like, seemed like she was just going through the motions. She had a little stint with Thunder Rosa that really didn't pick up steam. I want to say she fought somebody else in between then. I can't even remember off the top of my head. But
I feel like her and Harley Cameron would be a good feud because Harley's so over. and Mariah's so fucking like ruthless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
And I feel like
I don't know.
Tony's gonna drop the belt to Mercedes.
Yeah, I told you that was my prediction, double or nothing. But I'm trying to think of who's Mercedes gonna drop her belt to, or she just gonna just have 6 belts. She'd probably just have 6 belts.
Where's the other belt coming from? Is she gonna take the ROH title too?
Yeah, she's gonna take it from Athena.
They need to get her some real like storyline competition. That match with her and Momo was good, but nobody really believed Mercedes was gonna lose. So it's like, yeah, this is a great match, but like all the false finishes weren't even false because we all knew she was gonna kick out.
Like you said, it was a good match, even though not a lot of story behind it. But I will say that's the best I ever seen her do that moneymaker into the bank statement. That shit was smooth.
Yeah.
You trying to think? You was trying to think of it real quick, and then
No, I was trying to remember how it looked, but you said into the bank statement. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that move. Like, I don't know. She could come up with something. I'm just not a fan of it. Maybe just a regular DDT instead of trying to be all cute with it.
when you said what other belts she could get, that it'd be funny. What if TNA, do they have an exclusive deal with NXT?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure WWE would frown upon fucking them working with AEW.
I'm sure that, I don't know. We don't have the fine print, but what if AEW's contract with TNA technically never expired?
I was gonna say yeah, because AEW and TNA did used to partner together back in the day. And
that'd be funny if like AEW wrestler just went on Impact. Yeah, like you said, Triple H would be furious.
But I mean, the way they did it though was they had Omega go over there and just take the fucking world title, and nobody could beat him. And then he lost it to Christian, who ended up losing it to Josh Alexander, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The
like
sequence. It
would have been way bigger for Josh Alexander to beat Omega than to beat Christian, even though Christian was the one who beat Omega.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, whatever they was doing with NXT and NXT and TNA last year, like, all right, y'all sending over Steven Regal's kid, but now that they have this official partnership, now it's ramped up. Now you got Moose over there, Hardy. So yeah, right now it's looking like it's gonna, in the long run, it's gonna be, a better deal than what they had with AEW. But hindsight's always 20/20. So what are you gonna do? But I digressed a lot. I don't know what they're gonna do with Mercedes in her next feud. Like you said, she's gonna eventually have to drop the belt. I wanted to see Harley get that belt from Mercedes, and maybe then her and Mariah could beef. I don't know.
I feel like
options, which is a good thing.
There should be some kind of tournament to declare the number one contender at All In. Mercedes should win it, and then Christopher Daniels or Tony Khan or somebody should come out and be like, "Look, God damn it, this is out of control. Like, you got too many fucking belts. If you want the world title, you got to give up the fucking TBS championship. We can't have one motherfucker walking around with all the goddamn belts." Obviously, they could put it a little more eloquently than what I just did, but
I wouldn't be mad at that. Or she could just do it the traditional route and give somebody the rub, and then go for the world title.
But I'm not feeling that. I feel like, honestly, like, she's dominated this division so much, she just puts the title up. Like, all right, I'm done with the TBS title. I'm moving on to the world title shit. And then kind of start from the bottom and enter the tournament to crown the number one contender. Almost like how TNA used to do the X Division title. Like,
option C.
Yeah, you cash in your X Division championship for a world title match. And she could be like, look, she could call Tony Khan out there. Like, look, dog, I done beat everybody in this division. Like, can't nobody see me here. I want the world title. Tony could say, cool. If you want the world title, give me that one.
Or what about you could do it her versus Athena title for title?
I just don't want to see her beat Athena, and I don't want to see Athena beat her.
Why can't Athena beat her?
Again, I think Mercedes losing before she goes for the world title is not a good look.
What if it's fluky though?
Her losing is not a good look. I think her aura is about how she's unbeatable right now, and people fucking hate that. And if she was to lose and then go for the world title, it would crush the momentum that she's got.
What if she lost it in the triple threat match, and she was like, after she lost it, she just, was kind of bitchy about it, and like, I'm past that anyways. I didn't even get pinned. I'm off to bigger and better things.
Well, then you shit on the fucking person that won the title.
Still, like, if it's Carly Cameron, and even though she didn't pin Mercedes, she still wins the title, I think the crowd will still go ape shit.
Yeah, but you just completely fucking shit all over, like, whatever. I don't even give a fuck about that belt. You didn't even beat me. Fuck you. I'm going to get the world title. Like, I don't know. That's just, I don't like it.
I'm just saying, there's probably more different ways to, go about it than her just vacating the belt. They've only done that once. I think Samoa Joe did that with an ROH belt. It was an ROH belt too.
Yeah, and he went and got the world title.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that's how it's going to play out, but I guess we got to see.
There's nobody left for her to beat.
No faces really, unless you want to go her and Mariah, or her and Megan Bain. That's somebody who could be a formidable opponent.
That's somebody that would benefit from her giving the title up and them having a tournament for it, and Megan Bain just fucking running through everybody.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the TBS champions have a certain build. Besides Mercedes, like they just give it to like the stacked, well-built ladies. Statlander, Jade.
Megan Bain's definitely well-built.
Megan Bain, but I can't say that though, because what's her face had? Julia Hart had it for a little minute though.
Yeah.
And then what happened to Sky Blue? She still hurt?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Hey, her boyfriend's killing it though, as we saw with that cage match.
Yeah, I'm all for Mercedes just being like coming out tomorrow night. Being like, look, there's nothing else I can do with this TBS championship. I'm the greatest TBS champion ever. I want to be world champion. So I'm vacating this. Tony Storm, I'm coming for you.
No, and then what does she do from now? The next big pay-per-view would be Double or Nothing. She just stack wins until then.
Yeah, she can start fighting people in the world title division. Mariah May could be like, no, fuck you. You don't get to do that. Like, I want Tony Storm again. And she beats Mariah May. And then All In, she fights Tony Storm.
It's a long way. All In with July?
All In's only in June or July. That's like 3 months from now.
It's March. It's like 4 months.
3.5.
That's gonna be a long feud. It's gonna be a long feud with her and.
Do they not know how to book in AEW?
I don't trust it.
That's fucked up, EJ.
I mean, then what would you would do her and Mariah at Double or Nothing? Have her sit out Dynasty?
She ain't gotta sit out Dynasty. She could fight fucking Thunder Rosa or some damn body.
I don't know. I think you could maybe squeeze a couple more defenses before she could vacate. She had to vacate it.
It's over. Let's do it. I'm not the booker. I'm just saying this is what my idea is, that she should vacate the belt and go for the world title and fight Tony Storm at All In.
I think you still got one good story she could do with the belt, because like you said, Momo wasn't really a long story. It was a good match, but I feel like you could still get one good feud out of the title. Who did she beat for the title? Statlander? She beat Statlander for it? Oh, she beat Willow for it.
Yeah, she beat Willow, and then she beat Statlander.
Yeah, only thing I could think of is maybe you do a Thunder Rosa. Yeah, who knows what happened to Britt Baker? Their match at All In wasn't the best. Maybe you could actually run a decent
Baker's
feud
not
with
that good, so that's why it wasn't the best. She was good when there was nobody else around, and then when they started getting better wrestlers, she got an attitude and got jealous because everybody was better than her.
We still didn't even have a payoff really with Camille either, with Mercedes and Camille. So I don't know. We shall see. They got options though.
Yeah. All in all, great pay-per-view from AEW Revolution. The main event was trash, but everything else was really good.
That cage match, man. Like, that's why I couldn't get all the way into the Punk one. Even though the Punk and Seth Rollins, they did their thing, but when you're in a cage, I like to see the cage used as a weapon. And those Fletcher and Ospreay definitely used the cage as a weapon.
And then they had a guy running, and he had a chair and weapons and all that. Like, a cage match is supposed to keep people out and keep you in.
I mean, AEW doesn't have that many cage matches, but Roman just pulled the guy out of the cage.
Because the door was open because he was about to leave.
And they had an elimination chamber, and somebody broke into it. AJ Styles broke into that and beat up LA Knight.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was last year.
Oh, last year. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Jade went into the chamber and beat up Naomi. So
the match hadn't started yet, though. The door was still open when Jade did that.
I mean, I've seen the plies cutter. It was
right.
I mean, it was a little unnecessary. It was a little unnecessary, but Spanish fly off the top of the cage. That's risky.
I mean, you ain't gonna see CM Punk doing no shit like that.
He would turn into dust.
Well, he would miss WrestleMania again. That's why I was like, man, get your ass off the top of that cage. What are you doing up there? WrestleMania's in 4 weeks. I feel like he thought that too. Like, he got up there and was about to jump, and he was like, shit, Seth, come get me. Hey, come up here and suplex me. I don't want to jump. Seth is like, come on, jump. I don't want to jump. It's higher than I thought it was. WrestleMania's, look, the sign.
Man, thank goodness, man. That would have been his career if he would have jumped off the cage. So, you know what they say, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. All right, EJ, we got Street Clothes of the Week and Power Rankings left, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, we kind of buried the lead. Naomi.
Oh.
She did it.
This was so good. The amount of people, wrestlers, that are like, I'm with Naomi, is crazy too, right? Like, even Big Swole was like, Naomi she didn't do nothing wrong. I'm like, damn, people don't like Jade, do they? And then all this shit starts coming out about Jade having beef with like a lot of the locker room, and apparently there was some shit between her and Shayna put her in a real chokehold, and Jade like tapped out in the middle of the match. All kind of shit's coming out. But fuck all that. Naomi and Bianca killed that segment. Like, this is the first time we've seen Naomi really get something with substance, and that shit was how she went from being like, come on, like, just relax, like, don't worry about it, to yeah, I did it, and called Bianca an ungrateful bitch, and Bianca being like, the fuck you just say to me? Like, I loved every second of it. This Luke and Laura ain't got shit on fucking Bianca and Naomi. This was soap operas to its finest.
I liked it, but I'm a nitpick a little bit because it's supposed to be over dramatic, and it did its purpose. I thought they kind of walked over each other's toes a little bit in it, but I think that was how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
one's supposed to be talking over another.
It was like a real argument.
Yeah, and then shout out to Naomi for crying on the spot too. So the actual back and forth, like you said, it was good. My biggest nitpick is like, what are we doing? Having Jade come out there and beating her ass again? That kind of took away from the moment for me. Like, why didn't Naomi should have just ran away? That would have made it,
She tried to. Jade caught her.
Yeah, but like, are we supposed to be building to a match? She just beat her ass twice. That was like anticlimactic.
Which makes me think Naomi's gonna beat her when they fight at WrestleMania.
What's that?
Which makes me think Naomi's gonna beat her when they fight at WrestleMania.
I don't even know if it's guaranteed we might see them have a match at Mania. The way how that segment ended, she's beat her ass twice. So Naomi's gonna have to get her. They got a lot of time, so I'm sure Naomi is gonna get the upper hand when they go overseas.
I loved, speaking of social media, I love Kofi Kingston tweeting out, Bianca is kind of ungrateful though. And
That's
then
hilarious.
Bianca retweeted him and said, "You lucky my husband's on SmackDown."
That's hilarious. I liked her neck brace as well. She had it on the red carpet too, the Queen of the Ring premiere.
Yeah.
So that was a nice touch. But yeah, that's gonna go down as one of the better segments as far as
The women
done
go.
it moment.
Yeah.
Heel switch, quote unquote. So hopefully they'll capitalize on it. And you got some conspiracy theorists. They still think Bianca's involved somehow. I don't know. It didn't seem like it.
It'd be great if she was, but I don't think she is either. I think it would. I think Naomi has wanted a storyline to sink her teeth into for a while, and I think making Bianca be in it also would overshadow what Naomi can do. I think this is a Naomi storyline. I don't think Bianca's got anything to do with it, besides being the friend that she turned her back on to help out, quote unquote. But I don't think Bianca's turning heel either. I think this is a Naomi thing, and she's gonna get her shine on with this. And I wouldn't be shocked if Bianca ends up winning the title, and come SummerSlam, Naomi takes it from her.
I can see that. When we eventually get to Bianca Jade, I wonder who's going to be the face in that one and who's going to be the heel.
Jade's way more heel than Bianca is.
Yeah. Jade's kind of like a natural heel.
You can't look like that
it won't-
and be a babyface. Like, I'm sorry. You're too fucking good looking to be a babyface.
Yeah, you might have a point.
Not that Bianca's not, but like Jade is a fucking like specimen.
Yeah. And we have yet to see Bianca be a heel on the main roster, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's a random thought. Hadn't Becky Lynch signed like at the beginning of the year? Where's she been at?
I said it a couple weeks ago on the show. I don't think she's coming back till after Mania.
Probably. I mean, I'm not even mad at that.
Yeah.
I saw her troll CM Punk. Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah, and she deleted the tweet after. But I think the Raw after Mania is when we see Becky Lynch.
I'm not be mad at that. Save her. You don't have to rest her a storyline. Just have her for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Who's Raw? Io. Have we seen Io and Becky?
One-on-one, I don't think so. I know they've wrestled tag matches before. She's lost to Rhea and Bianca at WrestleMania, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, because they started at SummerSlam, her and Bianca, and then they ended at Mania. So you're right.
Technically, they ended at SummerSlam the next year in Nashville.
Oh yeah, she got a rematch. She got a rematch at SummerSlam.
Ran it back, and that was the debut of Damage Control.
Yeah, you're right. We were there. I don't know. Yep. I forgot about that.
Becky was supposed to turn face, but she ended up dislocating her shoulder in the beginning of the match. Actually, wrestled the whole match with a fucked up shoulder, and then had to go out for surgery. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at her coming back night after WrestleMania. If she ain't gonna have a big marquee WrestleMania match, why even waste the time coming back? Come back the night after when everybody's watching.
Yeah, but you can't make a case that who knows how many Mania she got left. But I don't want her in some Fugazi match at Mania. So
what are we gonna do? Team her up with fucking Trish and Lita again, like she did a couple years ago? Like she's been the main event of WrestleMania, the first ever women's main event. Like I don't know. I just feel like Becky's probably thinking the same way I am. Like, who cares how many Manias I got left? Like, let me debut when everybody's watching, when it's important. Not debut, but like return.
I mean, they do have to find opponents for Judgment. It was Judgment Day girls. The tag team champions live in Raquel. I don't know where they're gonna go with that. I'm trying to think of some tag teams off the top of my head. They got rid of what's her name? Sonya. And what happened to her? Those two,
man.
Shayna and
who gives a fuck?
Sonya.
Zoe Stark. Like, come on.
Yeah, Zoe Stark. Yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be a lot that transpires between now and Mania. They still got some storytelling to do.
Yeah. It's getting late early, EJ. We gotta head towards the end of this. You know, don't mean to be too graphic, but the amusement park's gonna be closed for maintenance for a while pretty soon. So I gotta go get my last ride in.
Yeah, you have it. What are we at? Street Clothes?
Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week.
I went first last time with the Street Clothes.
I'm going to go Jade. With the fucking white outfit with all the blood all over it. Looking like a Dexter movie or episode.
Okay. Yeah, she came in and kicked ass. Shout out to Jade. So I have honorable mention for my Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week. I'm surprised you didn't pick her. I thought you was gonna pick her for sure. Chelsea Green is literally like the definition of street clothes. Came out with Cactus Jack.
I love Chelsea Green. You were right. You turned me on to her to begin with. You called it before everybody else was on board about how good she was, and you were right. And I was like, really, Chelsea Green? But you're right. She's fucking entertaining as hell. She's good in the ring, which I already knew. But yeah, I didn't think she'd be given the ball the way she has been in WWE, and she's just fucking knocking it out the park.
Damn, you're United States champion. It looks like she's got somebody else in her cabinet. Alba Fire came back randomly. So
she's the United States champion from Canada with a cabinet of two women that aren't from America either. Like I fucking love it.
the irony, right?
Right. I love it.
Alba's from Ireland or Scotland too. They're both from Scotland, right? Her and
I don't know where Alba Fire's from.
She's from one of those countries, so yeah. Shout out to that. But that's not my street clothes rest of the week. I said it's an honorable mention. My street clothes rest of the week, I'm going to go with Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance on this past week's episode of Impact. So they lost the match against Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat. So they had to be like their personal assistants, the conceit. I can't even pronounce the word, consigliere. Whatever that dude that runs around with. So they made them dress in gothic apparel. They made Ash and Heather. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh man, I missed that.
Yeah, you gotta go back and go on Twitter and just watch the clip. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But yeah, it was a funny little segment. Yeah, they had Ash, the former what was her name in WWE? Dana Brooke. The former Dana Brooke. They had her in gothic gear. So yeah,
that's funny.
I highly recommend. I highly recommend you go back and watch that clip. So
Alba Fire, by the way, is from the United Kingdom.
I mean, United Kingdom has a bunch of different countries in it. So
she's from Paisley, United Kingdom. Isla Dawn also from Glasgow in the United Kingdom. I didn't know that.
Yeah, shout out to them. So yeah, she's from Scotland, and I don't want to call her Dewdrop Pate. Yeah, Piper Niven is also from Scotland. So
they're not American. Put it like that. They're not from the U.S., even though they're in the United States Championship cabinet.
Yeah, it's 2 Scottish girls in her cabinet from Canada. Go figure.
Power rankings, EJ.
I guess I'm up first since you went first to street clothes rest of the week. My number 5 is kind of a petty pick. I have Seth Rollins finally got a win over CM Punk, and he got pulled out of the cage. Like, how can you even count that as like a win?
It was still a great match, though.
Got pulled out of the ring by Roy Reigns. That's how he went over CM Punk. I know CM Punk probably politicked for that. He's like, I ain't winning. I'm not losing clean to the
Pulled a Hogan?
Yeah,
my number 5 is your same number 5, Seth Rollins. We've already talked about that match, so we'll get to my number 4. Your new WWE United States Heavyweight Champion, L.A. Knight. Yeah.
You know, I'm a LA Knight guy, but Rollins is the only WWE guy on my list. So I know you had me covered, but shout out to LA Knight. Hopefully they give him some substance with this second reign, because Nakamura, I forgot he was the champion for a while, so I'm thinking that's why they got the belt off of him.
It was so convoluted, too. It was like they're doing a United States #1 contenders tournament while doing a United States Championship match. So when LA Knight won, I was like, wait, why are they giving him the belt? I was like falling asleep while I was watching and didn't realize it was a fucking title match.
Yeah, it was, like you said, it was kind of confusing on how they did that, but shout out to LA Knight. My number 4 is the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay, winning over Kyle Fletcher, and we already talked about that match earlier. And another match we already did. I don't think we really did talk about this match. We talked about it in passing a little bit, because you said you want this guy to defend the title at All In. Who'd you say you wanted him to defend it against? Oh, you said Ricochet. But Kenny Omega, number 3, your new international champion, and him and Takeshita, man, they always go in there and have a good match. It was a little more psychology in this match than I thought it would be. They focused on his injury, a lot of rest holds, so it wasn't like balls to the wall. It was some psychology in this match. I wasn't mad at it, though. So Kenny Omega, your new international champion, is my number 3.
My number 3 is still your TBS Women's Champion, Mercedes. Money changes everything, EJ. I don't know if you know this or not.
What was her her and Renee backstage. She said the wrong phrase, and she was like, "Not that phrase." Oh yeah, that phrase. Money changes everything. Like, yeah,
I like the relationship, I guess is what you would say, between Renee and like the women's wrestlers. I don't know. I think it's like, it makes sense, right? Like, she works there, they work there. They clearly hang out before the show, and it comes through across on TV that Renee's like in the know, and she's asking questions, she's professional, but she's also like, even with the Tony and Mariah May thing, Renee was like, come on, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you spitting on her? Like, sit down and fucking act like you guys have goddamn home training. Like, I don't know. I like the relationship with Renee and the women's wrestlers.
Yeah. And I think she does a lot backstage too, as far as the women behind the scenes that people don't see. So
yeah,
a nice fit for her, and she gets to travel with her husband. She's got it made, you know. Tony cut a big check for that too. So,
yeah,
you know.
Speaking of cutting a big check, my number 2, he used to be in the embassy in a mogul, and now he's the number 1 contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Whose house? Swerve. Swerve Strickland is my number 2. What a great fucking match him and Ricochet had. What a great moment, him presenting that roll back to Nana and Nana putting it on him and then busting out the fucking dance. Like, I don't know why. That was so dope. And the crowd fucking exploded when he did it.
I thought it was a great moment. That takes me to my number 2. It's also Swerve Strickland, your number 1 contender for the AEW Championship. And I'm thinking it's going to happen at Dynasty. I don't know if he's going to get the title off Mox. I mean, they got a lot of contenders with this world title, and I don't know who's going to take it off Mox. You got Swerve. Ospreay hasn't got the title yet. Hangman is hot. I don't know. Darby's out, and he kind of started off the story, so I don't know, man. Who's going to win this world championship?
Darby's somewhere on fucking Mount Everest. Like, we don't even know if this motherfucker's still alive or not.
Let's hope so. That'd be an awful way to go. Don't wish that on my worst enemy, but that'll take me to my number 1. The timeless one, Toni Storm, spinning her. And Ruckus doing the pose for those listening on audio.
Chin up.
Getting her.
Tits out.
Tits out. And watch for the shoe. I like how they brought the shoe in the match as well. Yeah, man. It's definitely going to be a match that go back on Max and watch once they post it. So, shout out Toni Storm.
Toni Storm's also my number 1. Just incredible match with her and Mariah May. Just the fucking violence and the storytelling, and even the end where she pins her and then she crawls back up and like lays her head on her chest, and at the end she's like, I miss her already. Like, it's just a good storyline of them. I don't know. It's fucking good, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's fucking good. Toni won a great fucking women's match. Pile driver through the table. Just brutality at its fucking finest. Mick Foley would have been proud of that match.
I know he was watching somewhere with a smile on his face.
Yeah, because he's a pervert.
Ladies. What you say?
Because he's a pervert.
Oh, I didn't know he was a perv.
Yeah, Mick Foley's always like hitting on the women wrestlers. He plays the fucking Santa Claus old guy, like, oh, I love all the women. He's a pervert.
Hey, cut that out, Mick Foley. You don't want to Diddy. You don't want to Diddy yourself.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. No Diddy.
Somebody's gonna hear this and be like, I can't believe they're talking shit about Mick Foley. And they're gonna go back and look and realize, yeah, he was a fucking pervert. Him and JR.
I didn't know JR was a pervert too.
It was a goddamn creep.
Because he was like always talking about his wife when she was living.
Yeah, as soon as she passed away, he was fucking nigga lost it. You know what I always wanted to say? Never mind. I'm gonna leave it
I
alone.
heard him say something like kind of creepy. I can't remember what it was. He was talking. It was like on his podcast. He said something. I'm like, whoa. But I kind of just brushed over it. Maybe I'm making shit up.
No, a lot of people brushed over a lot of shit JR said on his podcast about the women.
But, oh yeah, he was talking about Sonny like offering some pussy. He said he turned it down though.
Oh, when his wife died, and Sonny was like, "I'll come take care of you." Yeah, I remember that.
Oh man,
that's funny.
He probably capping, man. I don't know if I believe him. But.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't like she can defend herself. She's in fucking prison.
As she should be. She's a piece of shit.
Well, that's all I got, EJ. You got anything else?
Two quick hits before we get out of here. Miro and CJ Perry reconciled. They got their Rouser news, so shout out to them. You know.
Oh damn!
Like to see people. Yeah, like to see people work it out. So shout out to them. May they have wedded bliss from here on out. And also a story that ran across my feed real quick. They're kicking Mickie James off of LFG to put Undertaker's wife on. That's disgusting.
This is just another example of the WWE being disrespectful to Mickie James, and it's to the point where I want her to go to the Hall of Fame, and I'm sure she wants to go to the Hall of Fame, so she's not like raising hell about it. But it's like, is it even fucking worth it anymore? Like, they sent you your shit in a trash bag when they released you last time. They always try to downplay how great she was compared to other people. And now the fucking... How the fuck is Michelle McCool... I'm not normally somebody that like talks shit about somebody else in favor of somebody, but you tell me how the fuck Michelle McCool got to the Hall of Fame before Mickie James? Cause she's fucking the Undertaker?
Yeah, nepotism.
And now this motherfucker says I'll only come back in season 2 if my wife can be on the show permanently. And they kicked Mickie James off? Here's an idea. Get rid of Bully Ray. He fucking sucks.
Yeah.
What's wrong with having multiple women on the show?
Yeah, 2 women coaches and two male coaches.
I mean, Bully Ray is kind of a bitch.
You know I'm not a fan. And like, why do you got to keep Undertaker? We've said this before. Why is Undertaker so beloved? He's always been fucking overrated to me. Like, what kind of personality? Like, these shows are for like the personality. Undertaker, Vince didn't make a lot of his wrestlers, but that one wrestler he did make was Undertaker. That was just completely gimmick. Like, I never was an Undertaker fan. Like, he's so overrated to me.
I agree, but it's because he protected his gimmick and people have never seen him like this and the whole nine. And, oh, the Undertaker's on here. I got to watch it. And we get to see what the Undertaker thinks about this because he's never actually given his thoughts on stuff like that. So it's novel, right? I understand that. What I don't understand is the constant disrespect towards Mickie James. Like, this is legit one of the best women's wrestlers in the history of this fucking sport in the WWE. And they constantly just like fucking shit on
her. I get what you're saying, but it's Undertaker's like, well, if you don't put my wife on there, I'm not coming back. Well, fine, we replace you with somebody else then. They got some other legends out there that'll probably bring more personality. Like you said, sometimes his opinion is novel because he protected the business, but who gives a fuck? Does he have like his one-man show where he peels the curtain back? Go watch that.
He's got a fucking podcast now.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's such a like a dick move to me to, threaten to not come back only if something happens.
This is something very little that I remember when I heard it. I was like, huh. When he was on Busted Open After Dark with him and Bully Ray, the first episode, and they were talking about LFG, and Mickey's name came up, and he's like, the Undertaker was like, yeah, I didn't really know Mickie, and, we didn't really get along he said something to the nature, we didn't really get along at the beginning, but we're kind of getting there. I thought, That's weird to like go out of your way and make sure you say that you and her didn't really hit it off. I'd have to go back and listen to it to get verbatim of it, but he definitely didn't sound like he liked her then. And now to hear that his wife is taking over for her is just like, eh. I like her on the show. I mean, I'm a Mickey fan. I'm gonna like her either way, but I think she brings a different personality than everybody else does.
How do you not like Mickey James though? Unless she's somebody completely behind the scenes, but as far as interacting with fans and how she is in the public, she seems like the nicest person.
She's the best.
So
she's GOAT.
It's gotta be a you problem, Undertaker.
Yeah,
Mr. MAGA. I digress. That was just a quick hit I wanted to do before we get on out of here. I know it's getting late early.
Yeah. I gotta go eat and do some other stuff before bed tonight. But
we heard you.
If you ain't got anything else, EJ, we'll get up out of here.
Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Let's try to run those numbers up and follow us on social media as well.
Yeah. If you're gonna be in Vegas for WrestleMania, hit us up. We will be there. I'll be there Wednesday night through Monday afternoon. I don't know what EJ's schedule is, but he'll be there somewhere around then. Hit us up. Let's go grab a drink. Let's go watch a show. Let's go throw some fucking money on the roulette table. I can't wait for Vegas.
I'll be there Friday through Monday.
Yeah. But for EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been another episode of Boot to the Face. Until next week, peace.
Yeah, Mr. Chaos. Boot to the face. Let's go.